Yeah, just a quick review of the Healthy Shoulder Handbook. 100 exercises for treating common injuries and ending chronic pain. Basically, the book's divided up into three parts. I'll go over each one briefly just to give you an idea what's in the book. Part one is getting started. Here they cover like shoulder anatomy and some common shoulder conditions. Other second part is preventative and specialized programs. So here they have routines, a lot of routines for like, if you play baseball, routine if you play football, if you're swimming, that kind of stuff. So specific routines for that. Part three is the shoulder exercises. And they have a lot of different subsections in the exercises. This is really kind of the meat and potatoes of the book where they just have all the exercises. So the sections are passive and gentle series, active range of motion series. They have a floor series, a cane and stick series. Let's see, they have a wall and door series, resistance conditioning series, dumbbell series, and they talk a little about self-massage. And they also have a roller series. So yeah, a lot of different, these little series are kind of neat. So they have all the exercises listed under each one. So, if there's something you do like, against a wall, it'll be in that section. Floor series, exercise you can do on the floor, which is good because if your mobility is limited, maybe you can't do stuff against a wall. So then you'll go right to the floor series. So yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, I would say overall, almost think of this as like a healthy shoulder workbook. Here's a bunch of exercises. You can, try them, see what works for you. Here's a few routines to maybe try these for that specific problem. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Now, this is different than other shoulder books. Like, let's say if you have like a rotator cuff tear, you might want to be better off looking for a specific book, or let's say you have frozen shoulder. As a matter of fact, I think the guy who wrote the Healthy Shoulder Handbook also wrote a frozen shoulder book. But that's the difference between these books. You have a bunch of exercises, here you go, try them, see what happens, or this is a specific book for a specific problem. So like this one, the 6-minute torn rotator cuff solution for seniors, although ignore the seniors because anybody can read this book. Like the other book, it starts out, with a lot of anatomy, just a little bit, a lot of great pictures. This book is filled with pictures. If you're a visual learner like me, that's good. Answers you need to know. If you just doctors told you, hey, you tore your rotator cuff and you don't know what to do, this is a great book to check out. What are the symptoms of a rotator cuff tear? Are there any arm maneuvers doctors use to tell me if it actually is a tear? Where does it actually tear at? Also go over other things like, are there different kinds of rotator cuff tears? I have a rotator cuff tear, I'm in a lot of pain. I need surgery, right? Well, not necessarily. Each of these are studies, by the way. This book is heavily based on published research. What will happen if I just leave my rotator cuff tear alone? The only way you're going to be able to answer that question is if you look at studies that people that have untreated rotator cuff tears. So, for instance, you take 100 people that they didn't do anything, they just left it alone. And researchers have followed these people like 5-10 years. What happens to it? That's the way you get the answer to that. And that's what this guy's done. He's looked at all of those studies and broke them down and to tell you. So you get a good idea, hey, I have a partial tear and, I leave it alone. What'll happen to it? Will it get bigger? Will it repair itself? Does have a torn rotator cuff set me up for getting shoulder arthritis? How does exercise compare to surgery when it comes to treating a torn rotator cuff? So the book says the only way you're really going to know the answer to that question is look at a randomized controlled trial. That's the highest proof in medicine that a treatment is actually effective. So let's say you take 100 people with torn rotator cuff tears, same kind of tears. You randomly divide 50 to have surgery, 50 to have exercise. Then you follow them 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years. And those studies exist. Well, he went through all of them, okay? And come to find out, if you have surgery or if you do exercise, you end up at the same place. That's evidence-based medicine. That's exactly what the studies show. So to that end, and you can check them out yourself. There's a great reference section in the back. You can read it for yourself if you don't believe it. To that end, the book ends with an exercise program. And there's 3 different levels. There's a beginning, intermediate, and advanced, which I like that. Some people, they just tore their rotator cuff and they can hardly move their arm. You got some simple exercises for that, and then when you can move your arm better, it's to the intermediate or the advanced one. Or some people have a chronic tear, but they can still move their arm pretty well. Then you just want to jump right into the advanced one. But yeah, answer all your rotator cuff questions. So this is an example of a book. You have a specific shoulder problem. Here's a book to treat that specific problem. This book will guide you a certain amount, but its value basically is that it has a ton of different exercises, so 100, so which is a lot. And by the way, nobody needs 100 to rehabilitate a shoulder problem, but you have a lot to choose from, so there you go. So yeah, good book. Check it out.